Tablebreakers. This is the Tablebreakers stream, which would normally be doing a one shot, just typically like a 4 hour game. But our GM for this evolution is Connell. Connell had some family emergency pop up, and it's a true emergency. Hopefully, everything comes out okay. Hopefully, nothing's long term lasting. What I want you to do is if you are a fan of this chat, you've been here before. If you got me on your Discord, go ahead and send me a discussion. And we're talking here. We're going to just kind of do a chill stream tonight. We're not running the game. Jade has other things going on, like fatigue. Connell has his real life going on, which is like fatigue, but with family. And our friend Baron G Rock is still out for the indefinite future. Hopefully, he will at some point return, but he's got some real issues going on. And I hate to say that, but I've been doing this journey with him on this Tablebreakers for almost 3 years, and this has been great. But man, we hope that you're not gone too long, Baron. Anyway, with me tonight is my friend David, also known as a Crafting Gamer, and also Chimerian, known as Kai. Kai is here.
Mm-hmm.
Gents, how are you tonight?
I'm alive.
That is a statement I hear a lot in December. This is a funny statement.
There's more, but there isn't.
Flady, Soy-Based Jeremy, and Six Nation 31 Kings, if you guys are interested, you've got a DM in your Discord if you so choose. And that's not by happenstance. If you want in, come on in. We're discussing things that just pop up to mind. This week we've had some small shakeups on the big corporate gaming. A company that we all despise, Hasbro, has been seeing a downward trend in their stock price. And actually, in the last year, the only thing really holding up their stock price is D&D, which is funny. Maybe it's not D&D, it's Wizards of the Coast. But D&D has had a long, steady decline for years. Hate to say it. And then this week, Hasbro laid off 1,100 people. A lot of them were in Wizards of the Coast.
Real quick, slightly off subject. Like this, Kyle looks like Kilroy.
I know, right? Lady says he's decompressing with his comics. Chill with you guys. People have to take care of their things they got going on, which we completely agree. Take it when you can. Get your rest when you can get it. Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough, Jeremy. Fair enough. I forgot he uses StreamYard on a phone. Chimerian, have you been painting anything as of lately? Or I know you don't usually craft on camera, but I know you've got your paint station.
I haven't had the time. I have been staring at everything going, do I have the energy for this to start? No. I have a bunch of things that are half finished, but...
I don't want to sound like Ted Knight from Caddyshack. Half finished? You don't say.
Right.
Fucking death. Half finished pile of fucking plastic.
Oh, I'm still getting reorganized from putting the shelves back up in place. Because, 'tis the month of 400,000 obligations. So,
yeah, that's kind of why one of the two games I'm running right now is kind of DIW. And I hate that, but I can't do nothing about it. You got to let your players take their time off because, I mean, what are you going to do? You get back in the game right now, and then you go stand by your table and idly wait for them to show up at your door. or click onto the StreamYard link so they can say no.
Push forward for the 2 people who show up.
Man, I've done that before, and it does not go as far as you want it to. I've tried.
I know. I've done that. But then again, I have no problem running for only 2 people, so
Yeah, if you've ran a game, any game, for any length of time, you get an idea of where the point is where you stop pushing the rope. You get it, you understand it. Like, in a regular game of 3.0, with only 2 players and no cohorts, no hangers on, no retainers, no torch bearers, no bow and arrow guardsmen with 0 BAB, 1 orc will do fine as an encounter.
oh whoa. But how do you play a game that requires 4 people to be 1 functional person? Because that's how the game is. Sorry, one of you is the brains, one of you is the fingers, one of you is the brawn, and one of you is, I don't know, what do you bring? Oh yeah, Band-Aids. Without this tightly meshed thing, the game collapses because making a functional human being that's capable of actually walking, talking, chewing bubble gum, and performing tasks, and having a brain cell high enough to be able to turn on a computer. Oh, that's too much. Are you trying to solo this game? Oh no. That's just no. You can't do that. That's terrible.
Hey, 6 Nations, 31 Kings. I get it, man. I understand. We hear you on Saturdays, and I'm happy we have you on Saturdays to play with you. That's one thing that I really didn't like about 3.0 was they tried to do the scientific CR thing, and they've never gotten away from that since they brought that out.
Nope. But you see people trying to defend the mentality of the balance that way, because you have nope, you can't have any one person be good at more than one thing, because at that point, why do you need a party? And I'm like because multiple people are capable of backing each other up. And it's the idea of, are your characters Lego pieces that fit together to form a party, or are you a team of individual operatives who bring complementary skills to the table and have cross training, so that way multiple people can do multiple things, so that way in case one person needs help, there's a second or is incapacitated, you can continue to function as a group and push forward. But so it's just it's a weird mentality where if you try to build a game for everyone is trained, capable, and functional. Oh no, that allows for one person to dominate too much. I'm like, no, fuck that. Fuck. It's like, and being told, oh no. Why would you want to be able to do 2-3 things? Because you might overshadow somebody. I go, look, if one person wants to be a knuckle dragging retard, whose only job is to swing sword and lift doors. Sorry, and bend doors.
Bend bars. Don't forget bend bars. How and you had lift gates, but where's the bend bars?
Yeah, bend bars, lift gates. Because because you're playing the fighter version of Bender Rodriguez, whose entire job is to bend things. That's his only job.
I keep laughing.
I don't know. I just put a picture of the.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just having to say I put a picture of how else the rogue and the barbarian can be useful in our Discord.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, that's too good to share. Too good not to share.
Yes.
All right. Bruce, what are you talking about? The rogue who smoked the weird plant. The barbarian who ate the weird mushroom.
Whoa. I'm okay.
You know what?
I know. But when you have multiple people over the years who all tell you that trying to make a well-rounded character is stupid or underpowered or overpowered, I've heard so many different responses to wait, you want to be intelligent, skilled, capable, and able to function? Oh, that's just no, don't, no, you can't do that. Why not? You just can't.
It goes against the priors of Gygax.
Right, where you have to be an overly specialized insect who's part of a greater Lego machine that just clicks. And you need to have the one guy who talks, the one guy who thinks, the one guy who sees things, the one guy who hits stuff, and the one guy who does the magicy wiggle finger stuff. And everyone needs to have their little bungee cord, where you put a little kid on the bungee cord so that way they can't get more than 10 feet away from you.
Go ahead.
And the party must walk together in this tightly packed mass because if somebody engages in conversation, you might not be able to handle it. Sorry, everybody who dumped charisma. The one person who could talk. I will do all the speaking. You will do all the swingy. You'll do all the shooty. You'll do all the sneaky sneaks, and we do all the casty casts. And that's all it ever is. And God, this is why I like other games so much better than that.
I never thought of this, but fuck, Chimerian, you've completely ruined the 80s for me because I did not realize Stephen Joseph Cannell, the entertainment mogul that was part of Cannell Studios, he was, along with Frank Lupo, both those guys had to play Dungeons and Dragons because you completely just fucking outlined the A-Team.
Yes. Yes, I did. One guy talks, one guy shoots, one guy thinks, one guy flies. That's it. There you go.
I mean, it did work. It really did, but
they had one skill they were all good at the same time, and that was build stuff. Jury rig. That was the one skill that they all put points in together. And that's how you get the fork.
Together, apes strong.
You're right. And that's where you get the fork. My favorite machine, which is the forklift that has the compressed air 2x4 launcher gun on it. And that's fuck yeah.
Listen,
MacGyver, eat your heart out.
We can't make fun of MacGyver either.
Oh no.
Flatey puts his Iron Man comic long enough. He puts the Iron Man comic down long enough to type this. Burn Notice follows a similar formula.
Thing is, it's not a bad formula. It works. And the thing is that most of these games that do that, most of these shows that we like that do this, there's some overlap. But you have the specialization, but there's overlap where at least the A-Team. Everybody shoots, but everybody has a job besides shooting. Because they're a special forces team. Yeah, everybody knows how to shoot, but some people do. Some people are there to be, they're the charismatic one. But the thing was you had, I'm just blanking on everyone's names because it's been so long since I've watched the A-Team.
You had
Base, BA, Murdoch, and I'm blanking on.
You had Hannibal,
played
by George Peppard. You had Dirk Benedict play Face or Templeton Peck. He was an LT. You had Howling Mad Murdoch, played by Dwight Schultz, and then everybody's favorite Bosco or BA or Bad Attitude for Baracus, Mr. T. Right. And everyone else forgets about the young lady, the Melinda Kulia, who was in the latter part of the second season, booted out for the Maria Healsey, who played Tanya Baker. She was supposed to be a reporter.
Right. But the thing was yeah, each had their specialty, but often you'd have Hannibal and Face work together to go do something, and so everyone could work with one other person, so they weren't just simply mindless, focused drones that do one thing only. So even the most over-specialized was at least capable of doing more, being more versatile. So yeah, I described the A team, but they were still better than simply drooling guy who you've dump statted to make a myth character with.
Well, also, welcome our friend Josh, Six Nations 31 Kings. He's a regular player in our Saturday Alpha game group.
Now he'll know all our secrets.
Yes, he will know all of our secrets.
Oh no!
I know, right?
We have
This
secrets?
50 cents means you have 50 cents.
We don't have secrets. Or we hope about War Thunder forum.
I could use more time on the War Thunder forums. I'm trying to download all the blueprints to the Knox class frigates in the 1950s. What was the difference between 1084 and 1078? I gotta know.
Come on, the newest leak is the current generation Chinese export tank that's currently being used by like half the Middle East and Southeast Asia. That's the newest one. At this point, I think everyone should just dump all their blueprints on everything on the War Thunder
Dump everything on War Thunder forum.
Either that, or the moment I find out, it's like everyone should just go out and make duplicates and triplicates of all of their user manuals, and the moment that one gets posted on the War Thunder forum, dump the 2 to 3 fake bad duplicates on the forum at the same time that are filled with wrong information. So that way the average idiot will go, wait, which one of these three documents on the rolling airframe missile is the right one? And make sure you put horrifically lethal flaws into certain parts of the document, so that way when they build their own, it malfunctions and kills a bunch of their researchers and engineers. You know,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Is it safe to say you're related to Burt Gummer?
Oh, God.
I have less guns, but yes.
One of my favorite characters in fictional mythology.
Yep.
Six Nation, can you hear us?
He's a spirit animal. That's all it comes down to.
I can hear you. I'm sticking around with this microphone of mine. So
No worries. We'll be here for a bit, so no hurries.
We might not do a full stream, excuse my French, but we've got 3 out of the usual 5 that are here, 6, and I don't know if Darren's coming back. He said initially he was like, I'm done. And then he thought about it. He's like, no, I just need some time off. I got some things coming up I got to fix. So it made me feel good that he was willing to come back. But he would do that. You know, I mean, there'll be times where like he would be in your game for 8 months to 18 months and then be like, listen, I got to take a break. And he'd take a month off. And then he'd be like, can I come back? Yeah.
You always leave the door open because, you know, people do have moments like that.
Or real life steps up and is like, "Hi, I'm here to screw you over so bad, but you're not going to be able to feel anything for weeks, and you're just going to take a shit and you won't even know it until you have the load leaking down your thigh."
Yep.
It's in your pants. What?
14 years of that, and I'm happily free of it.
Kind of a, that's a terrible thing to wish on anybody.
All right, is this thing working?
We can hear you just fine. How you been?
Oh, cool. I had to fight with Google Assistant. Apparently, she wants to get access to my tablet, and I've been fighting it for the last year that I've had this piece of shit. And I'm cooking while chatting, which is probably a bad idea because I'm using hot oil. So if I scream, it's just me fucking up in the kitchen.
No worries.
You're good, Josh. You're good.
If we hear a high pitch scream, we know where the oil landed.
Yes.
I'm wearing my armor and my underwear.
Yeah.
I got an apron on, so it's all gravy. I don't cook in the nude no more.
I did that once with bacon. Never again.
Yep.
Hey, Kai, you think that skull's at a good angle? 'Cause I like it.
That's
a
looking
good skull.
badass.
That's a good skull.
Yeah, I bought the skulls from. Well, technically, I've gotten all my stuff off eBay or Amazon, which has been anywhere from $10 to $30 cheaper than buying directly from Games Workshop.
Yes.
Flatey, I would say go ahead and go with the Punisher. He hasn't let me down.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I've always enjoyed every time I open up Punisher books. Every time.
I remember the first one that I got because I wasn't really heavily into comics. I liked comics, but I had a friend that was like constantly buying comics every week, so I ended up blowing a bunch of cash on comics, and it was just a cheapy one-off where he was in Mexico and he was like giving everybody $500 for a car, $500 for a gun, and he was just killing cartel dudes and whatnot. And I was like, God, this guy's pretty badass. And then I started going back into the older stuff. I really liked the Punisher.
Young men that are watching the stream, I really wish you'd get your parents' permission before you do that. But Flatey is correct. Bacon on the duck sucks donkey balls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dick. Not really a good idea for future investing, but if I'm not going to tell you how to live, dude. I'm not going to tell you how to live.
Like, I get both tastes. They both taste good, but I've never combined the two.
Bacon wrapped duck is amazing. I've had that before.
Because I've had some really swampy duck, and I don't know if that would make the bacon taste bad, which I doubt. Is that even possible?
I've never had bad bacon.
I technically have, but that's because I don't like slimy bacon.
I don't let my bacon get slimy. It doesn't last long enough. I even get the stuff from Costco.
No, I mean, my father, I'm referring to my father. He's a bizarre man. He has his, as far as I'm concerned, his bacon a quarter cooked, and then he eats it.
Is he trying to boost his immune system or feed a tapeworm or something?
No, he's just that disgusting.
You know, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. If I shared with you guys my typical eating habits, you would never want to go out to dinner with me ever.
That's fair.
What could go wrong?
Soy-based Jeremy, please don't say that in the chat. My NSA satellite is overhead as we speak.
Oh, crap.
I know, right? As if we all didn't need another NSA satellite. They just passed another bill saying they have the right now to eavesdrop on everybody for domestic spying now.
Yeah, we got to protect everybody by not giving them any freedom.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to figure out how to send memes when the internet dies next year.
Well, I know what.
Like, do I have to hand draw them or something? Because, like, that's
Yes.
probably what's going to happen.
I'm going to have to get a fucking pilot's license so I can get myself an old fertilizer crop duster so I can draw dicks in the sky.
That's okay. I live in the land where shit posters I hide at, so therefore when things fall apart, the shit posters already have backup areas already set up to continue to shit post as God and the early internet intended us to be.
Now, on the lighter
Yes,
side of things,
absolutely.
isn't Illinois going through something? There was a court injunction. I think it had something to do with the assault weapons ban. There was some conflict. The state was like, we're not going to respond or do anything. This is our position. And now all the gun owners are like, hey, they're obviously not concerned with our safety. What was it? The PIC Act. And I remember reading a couple of articles, and then there was something that I saw a couple of days ago. And then today I got a blurb on it.
I'll be brutally honest, when it comes to Illinois and its gun rules, I haven't been paying attention anymore because there's already pretty much a statement that every single county sheriff south of I-80's pretty much stated we're not enforcing any gun laws being passed by Springfield. So
that's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's like when you look at the map of like of how many counties all pretty much said "fuck you" to Pritzker, you see that there's like Peoria County's we might, and then the rest of the Bloomington Normal has we'll enforce it because Bloomington Normal is just a colony of Chicago. There's the Chicago counties, and then there's the rest of the state outside Springfield, and who are all looking at it going, yeah, no, we don't give a shit. We're not gonna. And at this point, I'm like, shit's gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. There's enough people down here who are Burt Gummers out there, and I know enough of them. Of every flavor of gummer you could imagine. It's like, because there's just one unifying thing I have with so many of my friends. Right, left, doesn't fucking matter. They all care about one thing: guns, and not listening to the government. It's great. And
that's something I can get behind.
Yeah.
Political ideologies have gotten too tribalized over the last couple of decades. And it's just nice to hear that there's people that are like, yeah, fuck the government because they're overreaching and greedy bastards. And it's basic human right to want to defend your property, your family, yourself.
And because I run around in a lot of circles, like I don't just keep to one group. And it's fun being around. I don't want to say it's fun, but it's kind of like refreshing to know that when I'm hanging out with the weird ass crafters who are all hardcore leftists but who are gun nuts. Then I have my libertarian friends who are gun nuts. Then I have my hardcore right conservatives who are gun nuts, and we all have a unifying thing of fuck you. As soon as Pritzker goes, I'm taking away guns, and then everyone, and then literally listening to all three different groups and all three different chats who don't talk to each other all say the exact same lines of "fuck you, fuck you, come and take it."
Now, do you have anybody that is into the SCA?
Yeah, a few.
Because that is like the perfect meld there. Because then you got the guys who do full plate, or at least male, medieval weaponry, and you got your gun guys, and you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's like it's just kind of refreshing to be able to listen to put my head into all three groups, and the real far left ones are, and it's great because they're the ones who go fuck you, no, and it's just a beautiful little circle that when you to sit there in this nice little point in between, listen to them all talk and go, they go, I hate this group. You're very much like that other group. No, we're not. Yes, you are. I don't believe you. You don't have to, but trust me, I'm watching them too. And you two, if you could just agree to the one little thing, you'd just be so like each other, and it'd be beautiful. But oh well, I don't prod them and annoy them because there's no fucking point. They post funny memes, and I like that. So, hey, you guys make good jokes and do crafting. I like you people.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because I categorize who I'm going to associate with more by the memes that they post or the things that they say.
Right.
So, like, the funnier it is or the more offensive, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put you on my possibles list.
Yep. And then when they all start talking about politics, I just move somewhere else for a bit and go, I'll be back when the funny starts again. And then I drift off to the next group. And then they're like, we like you. I know. I bring the funny. I am a shitpost farmer. I'm not a shitpost creator. I'm a shitpost farmer and spreader. I am a merchant of shitposting.
What type of farmer are you? I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Oh, mean farmer's right.
In the last couple of years, the crops have been very fine.
They have been. I wish I was smart enough to buy Veteran of the First Meme Wars back in 17, 18 when the first one of those memes when those patches were being handed out and made by certain people. But then there was a second, and at this point it's like, so does that ribbon now have a star for the second meme war of 2020, or are we about to earn the third star, a second star today, this year, so next year? And I'm listening to people go, that would be hilarious to start to make those. I'm like, yeah, because we still have our wonderful Pepes and other hilariously dumb shit that just lingers forever as memes. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was born a little bit too early for the internet memes for high school.
Yeah.
So, when I was in history class and I could have been posting pictures of dick pics from ancient Rome, man, that would have been golden.
Yeah. I do miss the memes of 14 to 16. Those were just beautiful years. But
I kind of like the memes, the early memes of like the dinosaur, the thoughtful velociraptor. I miss that guy.
Velociraptor, yes.
I remember dot matrix,
yes,
BBS boards, and my friend, his parents were teachers at the local university, and we would get on their account, go cruise the BBS boards, and all the college students would be like, oh, hey, check this out. And then 20 minutes later, the dot matrix finally prints out this fucking anime girl or whatever. I was like, this is cutting edge technology right here.
ASCII art, the best. And some people were just fantastic with that shit. That is a lost art. Seriously, a lost art.
It's one of the things that I kind of dislike about the new Dwarf Fortress. A lot of people are doing the Steam version with the actual, Nintendo type graphics.
Yeah.
And I miss the ASCII art.
Well, you can still play the one with the ASCII art.
Oh yeah.
They're still updating it.
Yeah.
Which makes me very happy, by the way.
But it's like when I just want to sit and chill and watch somebody else go through hell, because dying is fun, and they're using the new stuff. It's like it doesn't have the same feel, and I get a little sad, but it's okay because I get over it real quick.
the original Asgard is kind of this weird thing. Like, unless you know what you're looking at.
Yeah, it took me forever to figure that shit out. I was like, okay, I remember this from like the 80s, and this is cool and all, but now I got to like relearn it. And then I started seeing things for what they were, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like reading the script from the Matrix. You know, you don't see the
Blonde, brunette,
the video or
redhead.
anything like that. It's all code. You know, it was cool. And then they updated the graphics because I guess some kids were freaking out. They didn't have the culture of it.
It wasn't that some kids were freaking out, but like somebody said, I can make your game to where everybody could potentially play it. And somebody's like, yeah, but we already have RimWorld. And so I think the person that made the graphical side of it got pissed off because they said, we already have RimWorld. What more do you want? And he's like, oh, fuck you. And he made Dwarf Fortress with Nintendo graphics, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it really. It's just
It's
the old school flair. I like the old school flair.
I'm not degrading anybody that still plays either version of it because we're both really good. But
Yeah.
I can't play the old school version because I've never played it before like 2 months ago. And I don't get it. I don't have the code to where I can see it. I haven't watched The Matrix long enough.
hey, there's nothing wrong. As long as you're enjoying the game, that's really what it comes down to. It's a wonderful game of seeing how long you can fight entropy before you die. And then see how you die in the most humorous way possible.
Not unlike standard role playing.
Yeah, but the thing is that the GM for Dwarf Fortress doesn't want you to live.
Yeah,
He's got no vested interest
the
in
GM is like an angry AI, and it's awesome.
I know.
And that's why we have such weird shit in that game.
Right. I love every new creative way everyone dies. It makes me happy.
I guess whenever I do start playing that, I'll have to record my games because I died. I didn't even recognize I had died yet. And like the game, nothing happened for like 4 minutes. I'm like, oh, I guess this is over. And when I finally got to the decoder, I'm like, oh, fuck, I am dead. What'd you die of? Food poisoning, oddly enough. I had like 50 or 60 guys in there. It wasn't much. And they just picked up some bad mushrooms, and that just kind of went there.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Did you ever see that that documentary about Dwarf Fortress? And Tarn was explaining the situation with the cats. Like they had just put the cats in, and then the cats were all dying, and they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And the AI was so advanced that like dwarves would go into the hall, drink their mead, their ale, whatever, dump the alcohol on the floor. The cats would go in to chase the rodents or whatever. They'd get the alcohol on their paws. They'd lick the paws. They'd get drunk. They'd continue cleaning themselves. They'd get poisoned and die. And so they had to cut back on the AI in order to keep, one, mass cat casualties, and two, it was like, if this is happening, what else is going to cascade afterwards?
Hey, I love that. I love that it has that level of weirdness in the game.
Yeah, it's awesome. It kind of reminds me of old Elder Scrolls Oblivion, like they had to dumb it down. Because, a farmer out in a village, out in the middle of BFE, he's supposed to have his hoe and spend X amount of time in his yard tending his garden, but if he didn't have his tool, he would use the Radiant AI that they gave him to go jack the tool from his neighbor, which would piss him off, and then they'd end up like fighting each other, and one of them would die. And there's a possibility that he was necessary for a quest later on in the game. So like, you could literally let the AI do its thing, and then they would end up killing off a main quest line, and you couldn't finish the game because of it. So then they're like, okay, we got to dumb it down. And now it's like a glitchy, funny mess, but that whole whole thing with programming is trippy. You can get that stuff, that level of detail in a couple of lines of code.
You know what makes me very sad? Here's the part that you're going to be like, Bruce, you're just a fop. You're an idiot. Which I'm willing to accept that. But we have so many people out there that are scared of Chat GTP, which is pretty kind of okay. It's not great in the least bit. It really it's a shitty way to pass time. If you're
got to
bored,
watch out with Grok.
I
hear that one's the troublemaker.
Is that the N-bomb of the Chat GTP?
That's Elon's version of AI chat.
Okay. I haven't discovered that. I don't really get into these much. I watch streams of other people trying to fail with them. If I try to fuck with it, I know like missile silos will open up in Minnesota or in Montana, and we'll probably have a nice apocalypse. But I think that the people are upset about Chat GTP, but they don't have any time in Dwarf Fortress yet. I've spent about 7 hours in Dwarf Fortress, and I've absolutely enjoyed myself. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like every fucking normie bitch that tries to play an RPG. What the hell am I doing? I feel like that. If a woman wants to see me lost and out of my league, drowning in the shallow end, I'm there on ASCII art fucking version of Dwarf Fortress, trying to see what's going on. Hey, Nerdy Ogre. And I am failing miserably every time. But it's fun. And that's where I probably don't belong. I need to go over to the Nintendo graphics version of Dwarf Fortress and just play that instead, or maybe shell out the money for RimWorld, which I don't want because I don't find that fun looking at all. In fact, if I was going to do something that was actually just an honest to goodness time waster, Factorio would be probably my choice, but I want something that's fun. So Dwarf Fortress, here we are. People need to play Dwarf Fortress because I think that's probably one of the games that it won't teach you AI, but it will teach you how to view algorithms. Maybe I'm wrong.
All I know is that I suck at Dwarf Fortress, and I love every minute of it. Like, yeah. I don't rage quit. I just go, fuck. Okay,
right,
restart. It's great.
Honestly, it's that losing and then learning what you lost from to try again that is the best part.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always learning because there's something new that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a ballista doesn't fire properly, or a trap doesn't go off, or somehow some critter's getting into your fort and you don't know what. But it forces you to play. It's kind of like I don't know, Demon Souls or Dark Souls.
Souls-like,
but on training wheels. Like, it's not as soul crushing, and those games are fun.
It's like you can always tell the games that I have on Steam that I play religiously, the ones that I lose and then have to start over and try again, because of the games that I have 1,000, 2,000, 6,000 hours on, because I think I figured it out. I think I have an optimal solution, and then something goes wrong. And then rather than fix the problem, because the problem that I had that's creeped up was something that I had done in hour 5 or 12 on a 100-hour run. And I was like, I could disassemble the entire base, reassemble I play a lot of Factorio and Dyson Sphere program, a lot of the base building games. I want to say I like Satisfactory, but I don't. For some reason, I don't like the first person aspect where I'm running around inside my factory. I kind of like the God's eye view, so I can see the whole puzzle from the outside, rather than trying to figure out how to 3D platform shooter my way around to where something won't fucking clip right. Ugh. But it's like I will realize I have fucked something up 90 hours ago, and the problem is just now manifesting. And I have been building around the cancerous tumor that is the problem for so long, but now I can't fix it. But now the tumor in the middle of my base has now become, well, lethal. And why fix it, start over, learn from my problem, and then play another 100 hours and then go, all right, shit, there's a new problem I figured out. Rebuild the whole thing and start from scratch and go, yeah, new world, new problem, and keep building. And I do this in like so many different games, and or it's like I got it all figured out. Oh shit, okay. And then I want to fail. I want to try again. And I want to keep trying. And I want to see, when does the system collapse so I can push it 5 feet beyond the next collapse and then keep trying. I don't want to win. I don't want the optimal solution. I want my solution just 5 foot further than it died last time.
I hear you talking, and I seen Flady talk about never let your team member die in XCOM. And for some reason, like
Sorry.
there's that mentality you have from the 2012 XCOM, which was a reasonably good game, an unfathomably great game back in 2012.
Some of those squatties, though, with their horrible accuracy, or they drop their grenade and F it up for everybody, like, screw them.
Unfortunately, that game had a horrible bug in it where the seed that they use generate. So if you save scum, it uses the same seed for that level. So even if you save scum, you get the exact same answer every time you save scum, which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem I have with that game, is that it feels absolutely cheap. Like, I've got a 99% chance to hit this guy 4 meters ahead of me with a fucking super fucking duper ray gun, and my guy lasers his fucking hand off. What? How the fuck does that work? And the gun is still in good working out order. It'll work the next round if my guy survives this assault by getting raped by a muton or something. I mean, I don't get it. But I really hate that game for the fact that it uses such shite tactics. Like, if I play smart, reward me and let me have my little victory, because I'm not gonna fucking see the end of this game. You have too much RNG in between battles, month to month, where I consistently get fucked out of good things. Like, hey, I've almost got enough money to get down and put another generator on top of the steam vent. Awesome. And then, like, we have another terror event, so I lose all of Asia. And I've lost Nigeria too. It's like, fuck. I hate that. I despise that game. It's not a skill issue. It's literally a programming issue where I don't have the patience to watch a watch play to see if somebody else can actually beat the game without losing a continent. And I'm talking about the new version, not the old version, the superior version on MS-DOS. I couldn't beat that one either. I got to where I had the blaster launcher, and then, like, my shit just got rolled from there. Just absolutely rolled. And I don't count the hundreds of hours where I used a Game Genie on my PlayStation 1 version.
Game Shark.
Shark the shit out of that game. I started out with $3 billion.
It still doesn't help. At the end of the year, you're broke.
The RNG will side with me eventually. I love that optimism. That is some good optimism.
Yeah, I mostly play games for their storyline. I don't really play games like what you guys are talking about.
You're probably a healthier person than me.
Worst game ever played. Fuck. I don't remember. I know I played some bad games. Some really bad ones.
I'm gonna go with a hot take. I'm gonna go with Vampire the Masquerade.
On PC?
On PC.
Oh,
because there's a part of that game where you're fighting Tremere, and they cast their spells, buff themselves up, and then they come after you. And there's like a part of that game where it's just like the death of 1,000 Tremeres, because it felt like the werewolf bug in Tales from the Sword Coast. But the werewolf bug eventually got patched. Vampire the Masquerade, it was supposed to be like 100 or 200 Tremere all at once trying to kick your ass, and you have to figure out a way to beat them, which I did not enjoy.
thing is that I've played a lot of really shit games on PC over the years because I used to just troll around through the abandonware forums
Mm-hmm.
and look for just odd games that that I thought would be interesting. So I've seen a lot of really bad games, a lot of them.
What was that one? Vinyl Leather Goddess, little platformer with a chick in high heels. Friend used to play the shit out of that. It was 486.
Yeah,
God. Abandonware.
abandonware.
Come over with a
It's like
crap load of discs or CDs. None of them labeled. It's like, what the hell's this? I don't know. Let's figure it out.
You're going to encounter the same problem: undocumented controls, illogical keyboard layouts, graphics that are buggy and or won't run right. Ugh.
Like, you can get past poor translations and stuff, but when there's a control issue or hardware issue, really detracts from the game.
Like case in point, like Barbarian and Barbarian 2.
Yeah.
On like the controls made no sense. Nobody had documentation because nobody has the original control, paperwork for the game.
Are you talking about Barbarian on Amiga?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was released on like so many systems.
We're talking about CBM era games at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't recognize that, that's Commodore Business Machines. Load quote asterisk quote asterisk or quote asterisk quote comma 8 comma 1. Jesus. Wow.
It was on the Amiga, the Commodore 64, DOS, the Spectra. It was released on a lot of systems, but all of them had the same problem. The controls made no fucking sense. You would sit there and try to figure out what control fucking let you do something, and
like they made a version of Barbarian that was a one-on-one fighter for Commodore. And then I saw another version on Amiga where instead of it having logical controls like a joystick, you had little icons at the bottom of the screen like Daggerfall. And you had to click the icons for your character to do stuff. And that was kind of distressing. But then they made another game based on the same engine called Obliterator, where you could press the down arrow button and your guy would crouch, and then you hit the double arrow right or left button, and he would do a somersault. During the middle of his somersault, if you click the fire laser button, when he comes up shooting, which was kind of cool. But that was on Amiga, which had much more RAM than my trusty and dusty Commodore 64, which would never be able to play that game.
or you would have a game where it has a command for every single button on your keyboard did something.
Oh God!
And you're sitting here trying to figure out, and you're like looking at the cardboard overlay that goes over your keyboards and trying to figure out what the controls are so you can be able to play this damn fucking thing. Like Space Cruiser 2000 or something like that, or it was just this beautifully mess of a 386 game that it was like vector graphics. It allowed you to do so much cool stuff in it, but almost every button on the keyboard did something. And if you didn't have the control panel that overlaid it, you were fucked. Boy, I miss flight sims.
Which one? Because I had probably the least intuitive one out there called Chuck Yeager's Advanced Flight Trainer.
I had that one too.
I like the way you said, I had that one too. That one.
I played, it was the 2000 version of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Didn't have the instruction manual. So I'm sitting there with my Sidewinder controller all decked out and everything, and it took me 45 minutes to learn how to turn on the Cessna. And then I crashed it into the Golden Gate Bridge. I was like, hey, this game's pretty cool.
That sounds like
It took me forever to learn.
That sounds like Falcon 2.0. The game where, like, okay, so what button adjusts flaps? What button is the thrust button? Thrust.
Yeah.
Okay, now, okay, turning everything on. The engine's now warming up. Okay, where's the release brake button so I can taxi onto the? It was the most nightmare, beautiful game, but it was my first taste into what a real flight sim besides Chuck Yeager's Air Combat.
Okay, here's something that should make your gray hairs a little grayer. The TIE Fighter by LucasArts using the Gravis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
my
yeah,
fucking Christ.
those two were. Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have a seizure warning. Like, that game. My God.
TIE Fighter was a beautiful game, though.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it at all. It's a fucking masterpiece.
There was a reason why my high school group rewrote the Star Wars D6 game to make it more like TIE Fighter on tabletop. Because
Nice.
we understood what all the when you go into the viewing room where you can see all the flight, all the in-game models where you can rotate them around to produce all the stats. We were able to go, okay, so that's what the stats mean. Then look at our D6 Star Wars game and go, okay, we actually have a one-for-one comparison between what Space Speed 8 is to the flight models of this. So we can now, and we figured out how to, so that's how many hull dice, that's how many shield dice, that's how much thrust rating works. And so we're able to like crack that and go, okay, cool. Now you just say, okay, I transfer in one dice of shields over into engine power. I want to be able to fire this long with this, and suddenly you had the power thrust gauge going on the side rather than all TIE fighters do speed 9, and that's all they'll ever do. And their maneuverability will always be 3d6. That will be forever what they will do. They will never change. And then when you had us going, no, but I know that I can trade maneuverability for speed, firepower for speed, and I can balance it around and do fun things, and I can make my X-wing do fun things, and make my TIE Fighter do cool things. And suddenly, there was like me and another guy who just spent all of our time in drafting, rewriting the space combat rules to make it more TIE Fighter, because we wanted TIE Fighter. We didn't want the movies, we wanted the video game. And then they released TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, the greatest game ever made. Because now we had live player-on-player flight space combat. And it was so it was so much better than just trying to play against the computer or trying to do something stupid. No, it was such a beautiful, beautiful game. And I love it. I love the idea. Plus, they had that wonderful scenario in TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, in which some poor fucker has to be the B-Wing pilot making the bombing run, while everybody else has to cover fire to keep the goddamn B-Wing alive. But don't worry, you always gave the B-Wing to the worst fucking pilot player, who might as well be flying into the bullets, for fuck's sake. And we just kind of go, God, Could you try turning? Rotate on your rotate on the axis for God's sake.
Oh, he's just moving. He's just using movie tactics. He's listing lazily to the left.
Yes. Meanwhile, the rest of us are all flying our A wings and X wings, trying to provide cover for the fucker. Going, look, there's 4 of us. There's 1 of you. Your job is to put the bowling ball of death onto the Star Destroyer. That's all you gotta do, my friend. Bowling ball, Star Destroyer. Star Destroyer isn't even moving. Just bowl. Just like granny roll the bowling ball towards the spaceship, turn around, go back to reload, roll another bowling ball. That's all you gotta do, man. The rest of us can go get killing. Just fucking do the one thing, my one idiot friend. And my idiot friend. I heard I'm going to fly into every bullet ever fired in my direction. Oh, motherfucker, stop sucking. Do you want to be the B-Wing pilot? Yes. Give me the B-Wing.
Have you guys played this?
I had an unworking copy.
No, I haven't played a flight sim in a while.
This is European Air War, and they have it on sale on Steam right now for $5. This is a good old-fashioned flight sim, actually combat sim. And this is probably, back in the day, this was the best I ever played. I've never played a game that made me feel like a damn pilot like this game did.
Is it better than IL-2 Sturmovik?
I think it is.
Okay.
IL-2 Stormovik isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but the focus on this is the fighters of World War II.
Right.
IL-2, I think, is more focused on more like bombing runs and such, right?
It's got dogfighting in it because it covers a whole wide. Over time, it's gotten over. It wasn't just Eastern Front, so it's got more in it now. Yeah. But boy, do they map the 109 out really, really well, like where it feels like a 109. And I know Aces of the Pacific Over the Pacific was a fantastic game. That one was just fun. And only because we had arguments constantly over which fighter everyone liked to fly better. And we had that one fighter who's like, I must make the 0 not suck. And we all just go, good luck. And then he would proceed to pants the fuck out of all of us. Nice. Because we're all enjoying, having a life in high school outside of playing the flight sim, and he's sitting there going, "I must become best pilot ever," and then proceeds to beat the living fuck out of us on weekends. And we're like, "Well, shit, gauntlet's been tossed." What?
So I guess X-Wing Alliance is $9 or $10 on Steam.
That was a decent one.
They've got the. Go ahead.
The story was really neat in that one because it actually made flying the bigger freighters possible, which was nice. And if you knew what you were doing, you could actually fly a Star Destroyer in that game, which was neat, but totally worthless because it tries to drive the big giant cheese wedge like a fighter plane, which it's not. But it's hilarious.
Doesn't sound fun. I'm sorry.
No, it is not. But hey, you could.
Oh, for anybody who wants to see the game where my game was inspired by, Skies of Arcadia, last I knew it was sold on Steam. That may have changed.
Skies of Arcadia?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the last I knew. That may have changed because that was a couple years ago.
I haven't played Skies of Arcadia in a very long time.
I'm trying to get a video game YouTuber I watch to play it, and he's like, eh.
Nah, it's not on it right now.
No, I don't see it either. I see Arcadia
bad.
Colony, but that's a Metroidvania.
Metroidvania. Trying to say it's like a Metroid and Castlevania game.
Yep.
Platformer.
Yeah.
The best I've played is still Dead Cells. Everybody will probably say Dead Cells is too short. Okay, I've never beat it. I get like 5 levels in, and like then I find the big bad, and I get killed. Like, oh, you fight the hand of the king. You're almost to the king. You're next guy, but I died like a bitch.
Anybody here play Buck Bumble?
No, not yet.
No.
Oh, I love that game. You are literally playing a honeybee in a war against the wasps.
Buck Bumble,
Yeah, Buck
you
Bumble.
have my attention.
It was a 64 game. I don't know if they ever made more than one of like a series, but yeah, that was the whole premise of the game. You're playing a honeybee with guns that flies around shooting down wasps and different bugs that the wasps have either recruited or forced into servitude. I'm not entirely sure which. I can never get anybody to, because I've had a really hard time reading then, and I could never get anybody to read it for me.
The Victory 1 is probably my favorite Star Destroyer in Star Wars D6 because of an abuse of the command skill rolls.
Tell us.
Okay. If you've ever looked at the Star Wars D6 Victory, it has all those concussion missile launchers, right?
80 of them. 80
Right.
concussion missile launchers.
Right. Now, and they all fire pretty much forward, right?
Yep.
Or a good chunk of them do.
Yeah, like majority of them is all forward, but they have like 10 that are rear launching, then like 15 on port and starboard, 10
And the rest are forward.
10 on bottom ventral and dorsal, but they mainly are forward facing.
Now, here's where the brokenness of the Victory 1 in Star Wars D6 makes it the most powerful ship in all of Star Wars. Approaching Death Star levels of dumb. Now, all those concussion missiles are all capital scale weapons. So they are, I forgot, like 7-8D6 damage torpedoes. Missiles. They're not protons, so they don't ignore shields. So they don't bypass shields. Oh no! And oh no! One missile, 7D6 versus a 10D6 Star Destroyer shields. Well, the Star Destroyer is going to soak that one missile, so you're going to fire a bunch, right? No, you're not. You're going to group fire them using the command skill. And at that point, you're the weapons if you're the weapons commander who's using the command skill, depending on how high you roll your skill, you can get a number of crew members to combine fire their missiles into one salvo, which, if you followed how the math works, the dice get exponentially higher the more missiles you fire simultaneously in one blast. Not only do you get more missiles, you get bonus dice to hit, because it's why the quad laser cannon is the best weapon in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because one laser, dumb. 2 lasers, okay. 3 lasers, you can get by. 4 lasers, best weapon in existence. The missiles do the exact same thing. Now, mind you, every time you fire, you got to make your command roll. But if you can get a 30, the heroic 30, which is not super hard to get.
No.
If you pump your skills and you know what you're doing. So if you're looking at 25 to 30, you're able to combine like 8-9 missiles into one salvo every turn. If you get higher, you can pump more. And suddenly this tiddlywink little missile launchers are now firing into one doom bullet bill of death that rolls more dice to damage than the Imperial. Hell, there's a good chance that you can actually break a Super Star Destroyer with a good command roll and firing all your missiles at once. So this little piddlywinks 900-meter long Victory 1 digs in. It's slower than shit. It has all of these missiles, and you're like, I'm a Super Star Destroyer. I roll like 20d6 combined to be able to soak. I spent a force point. What? I'm combining all my fire control at once. What? I'm hitting. Oh god, I can't dodge. I'm a Super Star Destroyer. That's right, fire. You roll your dice, and then suddenly you're now rolling like I'm going to roll all the dice known to mankind because I'm combining 20 missile launchers into one salvo, and then you roll. And then you watch, major capital ships just break in half, and then your little dinky fucking pocket Star Destroyer just goes flying on by, laughing like a complete and total weasel, and looking at the rest of the world, and the rest of the world goes, no, I'm going to give that fucker a wide berth because you're rolling so many dice that even when you have your dice pool to attack Starfighter scale units, you're going to hit them. Why? Because you're a good commander who can combine fire, and suddenly you just fill the sky with missiles and watch X-wings explode as you make squadrons evaporate in a single turn because you're a good division commander who just knows how to tell everyone to shoot that fucker. Concentrate all forward firepower on that bitch, and then watch him disappear.
Just as long as no one screams too late. Right.
But hey, this is what he was a bad commander. He rolled dick. He doesn't get
Yeah.
But if you're the smart player, this Flight 2 sucks because it doesn't have 4,000 missiles in the front.
Oh, Kai.
Yeah.
I was watching part of the game because Baron's videos apparently came back online because I got a notification saying, "Hey, Baron mentioned you in one of his videos."
Woo!
So I just happened to go back and check it out, and it was us playing the game. You said your character isn't smart enough to build an empire, and yet you immediately were like, "I'm going to take prisoners and press gang them into an armada." Are you sure you don't want to be the captain of this crew?
Yes and no. I want it. I very much want to, but I know better. I know how I know how I administer things. I know what I'm going to do once if you were to give me the reins of power, I know what I'm going to do. Do I really want to do that? Yes. Yes, I do. But I don't know if I want to. I say no because it saves me a lot of heartache and a lot of headache. Because I know if I take the job, I'm going to take the job, and I'm going to do the job. And I'm not going to half-ass the job. But I'm not going to be I'm friendly, happy, and laid back. I would prefer to be a division commander. I would prefer to be the guy who you don't pay attention to because I do my job really, really well somewhere else. And then, if I come to you and say, hey, shit's going wrong down here, it's like, I want to be either the laid-back engineer who's down in engineering where you don't see me until something goes wrong, and then, you bring up the little view screen and says, hey, what's going on in down engineering? I go, yeah, we got some problems down here. In the background, you see, 3 guys go flying like Galaxy Quest across the screen to the background.
Yeah, that was literally my first thought. So it's what I was going to say. So you're going to be like the guy from Galaxy Quest. Yeah, right. The engines are overheating. We kind of need to slow down. We got a huge problem.
Or you come down there and it's like you're covered in soot. There's a fire. Still in the full the full fire suit with the hat off, going, Oh yeah, we're fine down here. What the fuck's going on down there? Don't ask. And don't ask. Like, if you don't want to know, don't ask. And then, it's like, well, can you get more power? Give me 5 minutes. And, and then put the fire helmet back on and like, where are you going? Back into the reactor. And
Spock!
Right.
Spock! Sorry.
It's like, exactly. It's like, look, there's a reason why it's like, if I want to play an engineer, it's going to resemble either Scotty or O'Brien, or it's going to be some grizzled old fucking yard dog, or some steam, some glow in the dark reactor tech, who's sitting here looking at you like with like just eyes like, you have no idea what goes on down here. You don't need to know what goes on down here. It's bordering on magic and reality bending physics. Spaceship Go, like, as far as you, discount surface warfare officer, need to know, you hit button that says go forward, we make the ship go forward. Don't come down here. We don't want you here. Not for any reason on Earth. Don't ever come down here.
Nations.
Or occasionally, if they come down there for their periodic, I'm coming down here because I have to show face, and it looks like I actually care about the ship. And then we all look at you and go, stay inside the yellow painted line on the floor. That's where you're safe. But can't I go anywhere else? Yes, you can. You're the captain. You're allowed to go anywhere you want. Just, you don't know what's going on down here. We here in engineering do weird things, and you don't belong here, my friend. And then we push you back out the door, and then close it back on, and then turn the rock music back up. And that's where I'm happiest at. Like, I'm happiest there, because otherwise you're going to turn on my micromanaging motherfucker mode, and I'm going to be everywhere, doing everything, learning everything, and you're never going to get me out of your hair. I'm going to annoy the fuck out of everyone. I'm not going to sit in my goddamn wardroom for the entire campaign and go, I will only come out when something goes wrong. And then I'm going to blame all of you for not doing your job. Like how most people play captains. I am God. My orders mean everything. And fuck you. I'm in charge. Because, well, the pins say so. Which is true. But I'd be playing a borderline insomniac who shows up in the morning to go eat my goddamn fucking breakfast, drink my fucking coffee, and then go do my job. And I don't want to play it like I want to play that, but I don't want to play that. And that's why I say, please don't make me this. Please don't make me this at all. I want this and I hate it at the same time. Don't make me this. And then when you're like, do you want to be admiral? And I'm like, yes, no. Definite yes, definite no. Because I know at that point I'm role playing the end of my career. And I better have the skill set to show that I am role playing the end of my career. At that point, what is my goal? Is this the last command? Whose dick do I gotta suck to stay here in space or on a boat? How long do I got left before I'm flying a desk? And at that point, the game for me changes immensely. And so therefore, yes, please make me an admiral if you want me to play something weird. But at that point, I'm already angling for what job I'm going to do after I am no longer flying in a spaceship. At which point, I go do some horrible job on land or planet bound, and I will never see space again. And I know this is coming, and I'm going to be aiming for that horrible point in my life where all I'm going to do is sign paperwork to allow other people to have fun, which I'm okay with, but not okay with.
Fair, but just so you know, in my game, just because you're there are two types of admirals. There's the Navy admiral and there's the pirate admiral. If you were to become the captain, you would be on the road to the pirate admiral.
Right. Look,
I'm not, I get what you're saying. I'm just letting you know it's not immediately like, oh, I got to worry about a desk job. It's like, no, you could play out straight up like a Whitebeard and die in battle.
Look, I may love my David Weber book novels, but I have no desire to role play Stars at War or Honor Harrington. I know I don't want to spend most of my I do want to spend most of my days, but I don't want to spend most of my days sitting there yelling at the Admiralty, the Admiral, the Admiral of the Red Fleet, the Blue Fleet, and the White Fleet, and go, stop fucking things up. Hey, Third Admiral, could you stop fucking up manufacturing? Stop fucking up my ships. Stop fucking up this. Could you just stop fucking up? By the way, that sounds like the entire Royal Manticore Navy right there. For like the first 5 books is actually no, that's the entire book series of Honor Harrington. Is just how many ways can somebody who's politically connected fuck up everything? Now, if you give me a GM who knows how to run this and make it interesting, I will be all up for the more politics than actual combat. But the problem here is that I understand how a group functions for a game, and unless all the players are in on the sitting around fucking desks, smoking and yelling at each other quietly in a dignified manner, no one's actually raising our voices, but we all know we're actually, while drinking this bourbon, yelling at each other quietly. In a long-term, multi-week-long fight that will end up with someone's career dead and driven out of the service, or sent off somewhere miserable to go die somewhere far, far away, while somebody else gets to go and continue to drink bourbon and smoke cigars, while stupid shit goes wrong because the budget is wrong today. Or someone pinned all of their career because they wanted to have a laser torpedo that doesn't work.
A what?
A laser torpedo that doesn't work beyond a range of like spitball distance. But don't worry, they're going to hinge their entire career in several cruisers on this concept. Fuck no. Standard player craziness, or if you've read the read Honor Harrington, like the first 3 books of the series, is dumb shit like this.
Are those the best of the series?
The series is really good till about book 7,
Okay.
and that's when it transitions away from her actually being a squadron. Because when it starts, she's like captain of a small ship, then she moves up to a bigger battle cruiser, then she's leading a squadron of battle cruisers, and then she's a fleet admiral, a low-ranking fleet admiral. But the point where she transitions from being a lower senior admiral, a part of the admiralty, to being somebody who actually is higher ranking, is when, at which point she's like, it starts getting, it gets really bizarre as fuck.
All right, my computer's telling me I've got a problem. I need to restart. Not a problem, but I've got an alert, which is making it hard for me to focus on screen. Let me restart. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yes, lady. I mean the space bombs that are the terrifying bowling balls of death, where you get to have 2 of them and get this joyful thump and watch them roll out from your fighter plane towards the target, and you pray that it doesn't move. Which, if it's a space station, you don't care. Space stations don't move. Star Destroyers tend not to move. Super Star Destroyers don't move because they're just fixed targets in space. so you can just roll a target at them. But like smaller targets that like the Nebulon B or the modified Nebulon B are spindly, so you can miss those fuckers. And I've watched my bomber players miss the fucking Nebulon B because the bowling ball rolls between, that spindly fucking arm that rolls between the engine and the forward section of the ship and the bow. And you're just sitting here going, oh dear God, it missed. And then you just watch that bowling ball just go fucking floating off there. Like, wow, you aimed for center mass. Congratulations, you fucking missed. Well, how was I supposed to know? I was at range, I was outside their gun range. That's nice, but you still missed. And now you gotta go reload and do it again. We're gonna be here longer. Fuck you. Fuck you. At which point you have players who are swapping over into Y-wings because those could actually do the fucking job. But you gotta get really, really close and fire within their ability to shoot back at you. Doesn't fucking matter. But if I lock on, it's gonna fire a concussion missile back at me and go, blind fire it. Don't get lock on. Just line up the arrows and pull the trigger. But then I know you're praying that the missile can fly straight. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna fly fucking straight.
Trust the Force, player. Trust the Force.
What was that?
Trust the Force, player. Trust the Force.
Trust physics. Missile goes straight. I know it's a straight concept. Big ship, don't move. Just aim for it.
When in doubt, kamikaze.
That's fucking true. Or if you're playing earlier versions of the game, hold down the top button, turn to the right or the left, and then you just kind of rotate around the central axis of the fighter plane, and it does this horrible corkscrew, and the game's AI can't figure out where you are. So and yeah, you make yourself sick and dizzy, but you can fly through an entire fleet of ships all firing at you at once, and the AI goes, I can't hit him because he's literally just rotating around on this fucking axis. Like, what the fuck is this? But it works. It works. Now, it didn't work in later versions of the game, but it sure the fuck worked early. It's like, I want to be able to kill a Star Destroyer, which in X-Wing and TIE Fighter, at least the original version, the Star Destroyer does not regenerate shields. You find out really quick, but the capital ships don't regenerate shields, so therefore, you can just keep shooting them all day long, and they will never regenerate. And then you can just kill them with laser beams, and that was nice. You also learn that the Corellian Corvettes, you can park about 2 meters from the back end of their engines and just shoot them there because their gun turrets can't track you until it's a modified Corvette, and then that one can just butt rape you because its guns can shoot over the butt. God, I love that game. I love that. I love those games to no end. I love the TIE Defender. It's the best fighter ever. And when Rebels decided to go, the TIE Defender is an actual in-canon universe ship now, and I'm like, I don't care about this series at all. But you've given me the Defender now in universe, official. I have the rest of this series can go burn in a fire, but you gave me the Defender. I don't need anything more in my universe because of all the things that were lost. This thing was brought back. It's not nearly as good as the real Defender, but that's okay because nothing can be as good as the real Defender. Yes! Sit behind a Star Destroyer for an hour shooting it. Yes, the most beautiful moment ever is just killing it like that. Remember, don't lock onto it. It won't know you're there.
What is making our hull go away? What is that? What is that scraping sound in the engine room? I don't know. It's too loud back there. Okay, fine. Just keep on going.
But we're not moving. We're just sitting here. Do something. We can't. We can't. It's an X-wing. He's just parked right there. He's just shooting there all day long. It was I also love
Dude, listening to his mixtape while the thrusters are going.
Exactly.
Totally oblivious.
Exactly. And it's like, hey, why did the Avenger blow up? I don't know. as the X-wing, this guy flies away from the burning wreck that was a Star Destroyer an hour ago. And yeah, the game had flaws. I understand this.
Hey, sometimes those flaws are a feature, not a bug.
Right. Okay, the assault gunboat is the assault gunboat is the best. I love the Defender, but the assault gunboat is the most just entertaining fighter to fly in that game. Because yeah, it's like you got lasers, ions, and missiles, and shields, and a hyperdrive before you get the Avenger or the Defender. It just looks good. It's a beautiful aircraft. It's a beautiful fighter. It's like it just looks good, and it folds up its wings, so it's a proper carrier fighter. You just gotta love it.
Oh, an excellent example. Sometimes those problems are features, not bugs. Is Fallout 3. I shot a super mutant. Its body ragdolled and just shot up into the sky. Okay, whatever. I'm walking to the other side of the map. Did not go through any load zones. Next thing I know, I watched something fall from the sky at a distance from me. I go to check it out. It's a super mutant.
The space program let him come back down.
Yeah.
Didn't burn up in the atmosphere.
The Skyrim space program is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's like I found a glitch that I love. They have patched it out in future updates. I hated it. If you used kinetic push or Fus Roda, that one, you knocked over anybody on off a 5-inch ledge, they'd die.
Oh yeah,
that happened. I first discovered that when I was throwing a troll off of like a not even 5 feet worth of stairs, and he instantly died. It's like, what the hell? And I started using that. One time I didn't realize it worked on you too when because if you hit strong enough Draugr, they're capable of using it on you, and they'll actually send you flying. I found out that hard way that it works on you too. I instantly died when I fell off 5 feet worth of stairs.
Ooh, yes, lady. The missile boat was a disappointment. Yeah, the slam drive is really cool if you want to get a close distance really, really fast, and all the missiles are really nice, but it has that one laser. That's all you get. So it's like you better enjoy missiles, but that's okay. By the point where you got the missile boat, you already had the advanced concussion missile, which was the best dogfight missile in the game, and it was just rapid locks on. It's fast. It's maneuverable. It can catch defenders. At that point, you just ate things, and it was just a really dumb vehicle that was a little overpowered, that didn't have any rebel. But then again, by the point where you get the missile boat, you're already playing the expansion pack that where you're dealing with the rebellion with the Imperial Remnant faction that breaks free and tries to. It's fun. But you're only fighting other Imperials at that point. You're not actually fighting anybody who's actually relevant or interesting. Like, yay, I'm killing other Imperials. Wait, when did I stop killing rebels? When the rebels stopped being a challenge. So all you can do is fight defenders, Avengers, and missile boats and assault gunboats, and occasionally some TIE fighters show up to go, we're still in the game. No, you're not. Fuck this. And sorry, you're off to go do top secret special super Omega Black mission, where you gotta go out there and here's a special elite prototype. One of this was ever built Doom fighter, and go and kill everything. Okay. How many missiles do I get? All of them. Oh.
All.
Okay. Remember, learn to boom and zoom. Just zoom in, blow everything up, then zoom out. That's all you gotta do. And then watch everyone go, wait, what the fuck was that? They all look around, and as your missile boat zooms out, turns around, recharges the slam drive, slams its way back in. You've already picked out the 4 people you want to die. Missile, everything explodes. Then by then, your slam drive's recharged. You slam back out, turn around, repeat until everything on the map is dead. It was such a dumb fighter. Ah. Oh. God.
Kai, have you ever played a game called Anthem?
No, I don't remember that one.
Just
That might
discovered
be
it.
after. So what was Anthem?
I just discovered it recently. It's a very new game. I can tell you that right now.
What is it?
Anthem.
Anthem. Oh, first-person shooter.
Oh, I wouldn't call it. It's actually third-person shooter.
Okay. Not bad.
You run around in basically power armor called javelins.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Starship Trooper novel.
I would say close to the Starship Trooper novel, yes.
Looks like it's already been shut down, so there's no way for me to play it now.
Was it made by EA?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the EA game.
Figures.
Yeah, I can still play it on the Xbox.
That's the game that I go back to, because we had a question about like what's the worst game you ever played, and I don't want to answer that. I don't want to tell you what I played, because who's going to get a lot of joy out of me recanting stories about Trespasser when they couldn't fucking program physics into a dinosaur survival game on an island? Anyway, and that was an official Jurassic Park game. Yeah, you had your health meter when you looked down at your boob. Literally, there was a health meter tattooed on your boob. But
Weird.
my favorite flight sim is still Free Space 2. What was the name of that one? Hold on. Yeah, Free Space 2. The great, not the Great War. Is it the Great War? You guys remember Free Space or no?
I played it a while back. I don't remember exactly.
Sounds familiar. I might have had a housemate that played that. I don't recall playing it though.
Well, it was made by the same people who made Descent 3.
Okay.
And it was pretty well done. They actually took the Descent off the title because the first one was Descent Free Space, which didn't really need that because it wasn't like Descent where you're 3 degrees of freedom or 6 degrees of freedom. You were in a flight sim. And the first one was a puzzle game wrapped in a flight sim. The second one was quite different, and it gave you a couple options in most scenarios to where you could go do things. And I liked that. It was tough. It was one of the best tough games I ever played.
So hard back to live.
Also, if you like the cast of RoboCop was the voice actors.
That would be worth it right there.
Hold on, let me pull this up for you.
Yep.
Has anybody seen any new movies lately?
No, not new.
Okay.
Only Godzilla.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That actually looks good. And I missed out on the 2014 one. I wanted to see that one too. I was late to the game when I found that one. I was like, oh shit.
So, Free Space 2 has Robert Loggia as Admiral Petrarch, Ronnie Cox as Admiral Aiken Bosch,
Nice.
Kurtwood Smith. He does the Colossus scene voiceover, which is pretty good. Triple D, Rick Weiss, I don't know these guys. Jason Scott, don't know him either. Roger Cooper, I've heard him before. Stephen Baldwin, we all know who that is. Most of us do. Dale Ingram, Kurt Nabig. These, I thought there was more people from RoboCop. I could have sworn there was more from RoboCop here. All right. Dick Jones. I said Dick Jones. So it's not Felton Perry. Okay. Is he in Free Space 2? Let's go to 1999. Nope. Not in that. My bad. So like the first three guys are like all from RoboCop, but then they have some other qualified voice talent. But it's one of the best games out there if you like space sims. That's your menu screen. Just one of the main portions of the game. And I think, yeah, this is actually from Descent 3. Somebody screwed up. This is from the game. I recognize that. Yeah. Fantastic game. Some of the ships look like old Veritex. It's great. So. Hey, Fleddy, you have a good night, sir.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, in Anthem, there's actually, I'm just going to talk a little bit about it because there's a freaking hilarious character. She is an heir for the throne of the kingdom of the game, and she's one of those reckless risk takers that don't give a shit about being royalty. I just all of a sudden popped in my head. I don't know why, because I don't know. I do like the character though. She's hilarious.
Probably like 4th, 5th, 6th in line or whatever.
Well,
So
she started off 3rd actually,
Okay.
and then a whole bunch of her family returned from being trapped in a temporal wake, basically. Then she dropped instantly to 15th. Which she was not bothered by at all.
The game that I probably am most upset about not being available to play it is Hawken. And it was an early Exosuit game. It was before Titanfall 1 or 2.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that.
It was like Battletech, but the mini-tech, the mini-mechs in Battletech.
Proto-Max.
Yes. Yeah, and then they make their announcement in 2017. We're taking the game down. And that kind of made me sad because I really enjoyed it. And I didn't spend a lot of money on it either.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a PC controller for one of the Macross games? It was like just basically a Veritech cockpit in the form of a keyboard and mouse.
Oh God, that game was. Oh, I forgot what the game was.
I vaguely remember that.
I got to play with it once. That game was immense. Oh, let me look. Oh God, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen one.
Yeah, I remember seeing that online, and I was thinking, like, holy
Steel
shit.
Battalion. Steel Battalion. Twin joysticks, lots of buttons. Yeah, throttle, twin joysticks, and with an eject button, and it had a button for the windshield wipers.
All you needed was like a $6,000 gyroscopic gamer chair or something.
Right. But that was also the game where It was something that you had. The game wouldn't eject you if you're going to blow up. You had to do it yourself. So, and there's this little buttons that you gotta flip up to hit the eject button. So it
So you might want to practice that.
But it expected you to do everything. It made you feel like you were in the game, like you were in the mech. It was insane.
Minus the compression suit.
Pretty much.
God.
And I said, I've only got to see I only got to see him play with that controller once, and I looked at the girl who owned it and went, "Can we play this?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." Only because she didn't want to have to set up the desk it has to sit on, so you put the foot pedals, the controller on the desk.
The 8-hour tutorial.
Yeah, and then have her walk you through like a flight instructor and tell you how to use the controller properly. And I'm like, I understand. Let's just go put a fighting game on and then watch anime afterwards. Cool. And then but periodically go stare at the gigantic controller and go, I want that controller so bad.
Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Never got to use one, but I never got to use it, but I used to have one.
Yeah, I
Like my
had
Sidewinder on steroids.
this. It would sit comfortably on your lap, and you could play it like that. I wasn't a big guy when I back whenever I had this in 98, 99, but this was like the greatest controller I've ever had, and I miss it. I remember I got upset with it, and it fell off my lap because I was reaching for food, and that was when it broke. And
Ouch.
that made me cry. It's like a $90 controller, which is like $200 today.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to mine.
I moved. That's what happened to my controller.
Oh, I used to have one of those Nintendo robots that were really, really fucking expensive and now really expensive and valuable. Once again, just like Kai, lost in a movie.
Oh yeah, for like Excite Bike and all that.
Yeah.
I really miss having a Thrustmaster controller. That's really what I miss having. I liked having the thrust controls on one hand, on one half of my desk, the actual control stick in the other hand, and the keyboard sitting in between. Going, if I need to go into manual controls, I have them. I have this contraption I can just sit back and play on, and then watch my dad at the time go, "What the fuck are you? What the hell's that?" I go, "Oh, let's explain it, and go, okay, let's play it." And then he'd do something really stupid in an F4, an F4 Phantom, and I just go, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to go see if the plane actually stalls out at the right altitude. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm listening.
How's it going, Connell?
Oh,
Doing well.
The cigar is home.
That's the way. I hope it was an okay time. No, but yeah, when you have your father sit there and go, "Now watch this," that purposely stall out an airplane just so that way he can just almost tear the wings off, so that way he can go ambush somebody. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "Having fun. Watch." Yes. And he's like, "Wow, the game actually ices up at a certain altitude. That's cool." And I'm just like, "I would never have thought to do that." He's like, I wouldn't suggest this." And I'm like, "What the fuck is?"
That immediately reminds me of I watched a special on YouTube about the ball of death, and there's a guy who would literally use a pen to prop up the cover that if it actually slams down on the ball of death will cause basically a miniature radiation explosion.
Oh, you mean the demon sphere.
Yeah.
And it's a screwdriver.
Yep. Oh, screwdriver, right.
It's a screwdriver.
Yeah, that's
It's been a
sketchy
little
as
while
hell.
since I watched it. Yeah, it was.
Demon core.
But that is a cool
And it
name
failed
for
once.
nuclear isotope.
Sorry. Yeah. And it actually failed once. He and several colleagues got heavily irradiated. But the reason I call it miniature is because even though they were in the same room, he's the only one that got a dose high enough to kill.
Yeah. Hey, we're at the beginning of nuclear weapon production. Things are going to happen. Just
Yeah.
Like those Russian radio towers with the atomic batteries.
yeah.
And like a hunter out in the woods will find a patch of snow that's all cleared away and this strange metallic object that's radiating heat. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm going to go camp out here and irradiate my ass.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
I'm going to hell for that.
God bless the internet.
You'll have to forgive my ignorance. I didn't get it.
That's
Well, anime girl was messing with the demon core.
Yep. Just doing.
Oh, okay. And now,
See, it's like I love like the insanity of like earlier nuclear research when it's like when the first nuclear reactor built has a guy with an axe and a rope. And he's told that if shit starts to go wrong, cut the rope. And so that's where the terms scram for scramming the reactor comes from. It's literally safety control rope Axeman. And his job is to cut rope in case of meltdown. In the event that the reactor starts to go critical, cut rope. Wait, what? And then you apply logic like that to say fantasy games and Magic. GMs are like, I don't want anything that might go wrong or crazy, and I can just sit back and go somewhere in the 1940s. There's a guy in Chicago with an axe standing on top of a reactor, going, "Do I cut it? Yes, Bob, cut it." And you're just sitting there going, why can't this be normal everywhere else? Why can't you have stupid shit like this happening everywhere else? And in any other game, any other setting, anything yeah, this thing will kill everyone in the room if you remove that Phillips head screwdriver. That flathead screwdriver. We're all fucked.
I've read about this. I've studied the fucking demon sphere, the demon core too much.
We might set the atmosphere on fire, but fuck it, let's try it.
Let's try it. What's the chance of it happening?
Very, very likely.
Greater than 0? but less than 1. Okay.
Event number 1 happened at time T1. Event number 2 happened at time T2. So how would you calculate how much time elapsed between T1 and T2? So normal person's like, so T2 minus T1, right? But yet anybody who's ever worked on date time systems, it's impossible to know this, and I send to ask.
Yep. And it's like, and I guess when you think about the insanity of people who do shit like this, and then you look at GMs, go, I don't want anything crazy happening, and I'm going, okay, guys, I'm playing a character who bends reality with a flick of my finger. I'm going to put on some goggles now. I suggest you all put on some sunscreen. Why? I'm going to do something crazy. What spell slot are you using? All of them. Crack. And
I'm just picturing a wizard in a white lab coat, rubber gloves, goggles, but the pointy wizard cap,
I'm going
like
to
a cross
I'm
between
going to
mad
engage in
scientist
some
and wizard.
magic. Everyone's like, oh, wizards are all, and I'm like, no, you're right. I want some crazy guy, some crazy wizard with a lab coat, walking out the lab coat, like, what are you all doing? Eating breakfast, and the wizard, cool. Excuse me, I'm going to go collapse a square kilometer of reality into a nickel. Wait, what? What? Excuse me. And
During all this, I just put a picture in the Discord, one in memes, but also one in our personal Discord or the Tablebreakers Discord, of what I thought of when Kai started describing crazy shit.
Who needs dragons to get this shit? Hey,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, at this point, I know not everyone's seen it, but the end of Godzilla -1 is the kind of insanity that people fucking should do. So what? Like, I won't spoil it, but damn it, once you see it, you'll think that's something stupid. That's something stupid that players would do, right there. Complain with the music playing. And it's what players do. It's just how we are, and it's just sad thinking about the idea that we're not able to do stupid shit like this outside of Mage the Ascension, which that game is designed to be crazy guys in lab coats doing stupid shit. Or some guy who's wearing a power glove in his basement, and a soldering iron going, what are you doing? I am making an intelligent computer, and it's going to be bad. And you're like, put the power glove down. No, it's my spell focus. And stupid shit happens. I want more stupid shit. I'm honestly, that's what it comes down to. I want more stupid shit. I want more. I want more crazy engineers who are banging on a pipe to go tell somebody 4 stories to go turn on the hot water or something stupid like this to go on. I want someone to go like, hey, what's down that hole? Oh, that's the void. What's down the hole? You don't want to go down there. Well, I want to know what's down there. Don't ask. It's just the void. It's just there. But what's in there? I know it's down there. Will you tell me? No. Why? You don't need to know. You're sane. You don't need to know what's down there. Meanwhile,
if you know, they'll see you too.
In the background, some guy with his wide-eyed and weird looking come up and puts his head out of the hole, and he's like, all right, I got it fixed. Anyway, shoo, go away.
So this young lady's like, hey, are you doing anything later? I can only control my voice once every 6 years. Please, you have to. Inking of going out, but no real plans. Wait, what was that? What?
Yes.
I just find that a little bit too funny. And then if you leave the mouse over the picture, the caption is, anyway, we should totally go watch a video story or put some food in our normal mouth.
Normal mouse. Yes.
For those of you that don't understand that is xkcd.com, one of the funniest websites for comics, memes, and relationships and math funnies. So xkcd.com is your friend. They've been out forever and a day. They're probably woke as shit, but they're still funny. And I've never heard of them ever being woke as shit, so I'm not going to say anything bad.
He also wrote a pair of amazing books that I got. What If and What If 2. Serious scientific answers to stupid questions. And they are beautiful. They are beautiful books to read because you never know. Do you really need to have a billion hamsters? We got the answer to what happens when you have a billion hamsters. Or what if I throw there's just dumb questions, and I love how in depth his answers get, and most of them end with the world explodes. It's like, I want to build a bridge out of Legos. That's not as good an answer. Like, that won't turn out like you think it's going to turn out. And that's the part I love most, is that he goes into such detail about how terrible everything is, and how close to death we all are.
It sounds great.
It is. It's like he actually goes into it's like, one question here is, when does the sun ever actually set on the British Empire? And he goes, well, technically, and then goes into a long, like multi-page, like it's 4 pages detailing when will the sun set on the British Empire. And he actually has it timed out to April of 2432. There will be an island that will have a solar eclipse over that exact island. And on that moment, because it's a total eclipse, there will not be the sun shining over the British Empire. So for the first time in millennia, the sun will actually set on the British Empire in the year 2432. And I'm like, he went through all the math to go figure out when this will actually happen. For that, I love his work to no end.
Nice. Kai,
Yeah.
do you know what we're talking about on Saturday night, or do we not have a plan
We don't
yet?
really have a topic. We never really have a topic. We just play by ear and see what we go with.
I think that sounds good.
We do really good at that.
We do. For those that aren't familiar with the Crafting Gamer or Six Nation 31 Kings, you'll be seeing more of them come Saturday and every other Saturday until I get notified otherwise. They're in my Alpha Stars game, and that means they're in a game that we are beta testing. I don't even have all the rules completely written yet, and I'm sorry about that to my players, but they're doing a really good job with what rules they have, and they're able to feel their way through it. I'm enjoying the game as a DM, and I think they're enjoying themselves as players.
Oh yeah, like minus the near-death experience the last 3 games. 4th one was pretty good.
It happens.
That happens. There was a book series I used to read by Joel Rosenberg, and the first 3 towns the heroes got chased out of by people with pitchforks and torches and such, and the 4th and 5th they'd been there for like a day, and then people started getting angry at them, but they didn't like chase him down and chase him out of town. And the thief's like, you guys see someone? Like, we actually know how to behave ourselves in town now. I think we're doing pretty okay. It's Guardians of the Flame is that book. If you want to read a book about some real life college kids that visit a fictional fantasy world, and it's completely a book of fiction, but it reads really good. You'll think it actually happened because of how the author writes it. Although there will be times where you're flipping a page, or it's not really even a full page, but it's just a paragraph down, and like 15 months are skipped over, completely skipped over. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. But Guardians of the Flame by Joel Rosenberg, highly recommend. Crafting Gamer, you're doing Robotech videos every other week, right?
Yep.
Badass. We get to see you assemble figures and paint stuff whenever you're on here, which is always fun because sometimes I don't have my hands on my figures. I've got a lot of these. I'm wanting to create a bunch of hobgoblin like figures, and I've got a bunch of these Moria orcs, which are going to be used for that.
Cool.
Let's see. Turn my camera on so I can show you.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
Yeah, TCG has some cool content.
There we go.
I got a little nostalgic and emo the last video he put up. But,
Nice.
you know,
These
it's a
are,
40-year-old system.
These are technically grots from Warhammer, but they're basically goblins.
Goblins with
Water
twigs.
And guns. Big guns
Okay.
compared to them.
Badass.
I got to assemble them here soon.
Okay.
But I'm finishing my orcs first, and then I'll get to them.
I know tonight wasn't really a banger of a session. I had fun with it because we're just anytime I get a chance to talk to these guys, I do, and I like that. I apologize if you're expecting something else tonight. We were too, and even Cigar DM was expecting something else tonight. So don't worry. Next week we'll try to pick this up again.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, stuff happens. We'll roll with it.
Just have to wait till next week for the war crimes. Oh, wow.
Now, is Friday night, is Legion of Myth getting together, and are they done on Fridays?
No, they're doing Fridays too. Or
Okay.
currently.
Okay. I'll be streaming with Janet after we start on both YouTube and on Rumble because I've got some members that are telling me to do both. So I'll do that. And then Saturday is the game. Sunday, we're watching Moonlight, Escanaba in the Moonlight with Soy-Based Jeremy. Looking forward to having him available for that. I want to hear his thoughts on this movie because I watched it once. It was a good film. It's a kind of it feels like a family film you see on like one of the other networks like Oxygen or Hallmark, but it actually is fun to watch. Herb
Doesn't suck your
Presnell,
soul.
yeah, Herb Presnell's in it and Jeff Daniels is in it, and it's really good if you like those two. And they work well together. So I hope you'd stop by the Discord for that. We'll be talking about that afterwards. And that's always a good time. If you're not in our Discord, get there.
It's
It's
worth
It's a
it.
fun place. Just for the memes. Holy shit.
We post memes. We do post memes.
Yeah, I'm not as frequent as Kai and a few other people, but I like to post memes too. Usually when I go through there, I like do a meme dump, like throw in like anywhere from 10 to 30.
Oh, what a shame that is.
Look, I disappear. I'll look quiet for like a day, and then I'll come up with like 5, 10, then another 5, then another 10, then another 2.
He'll tell you his thoughts on Sunday, so be there available for that. And there's a Discord address. Go ahead and jump on in there and make yourself acquainted. We've got a nice general area. We talk about gaming. We have a lot of memes. Jump on in. Any of you gentlemen have anything to add before we wrap up? I apologize. It is kind of short notice, but I'm fatigued as hell, and I don't want you guys to be fatigued as hell either. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Drink your Ovaltine. Game more.
That's right.
Yes. I like that idea. All right. Gentlemen, ladies that are here, or ladies that are watching later. Wait, hold on. Kai just added something here.
I did.
Oh, God. Your working hours. Yeah. I'm looking at Kai's schedule, and I'm like, yeah.
No, that's not my actual schedule. That's the kind of schedule that a character who would had to be in charge of a ship would have to have. Why I don't want to play that.
Okay. Yeah, that's no bueno. No bueno.
No,
Scary monsters.
don't
All right,
worry.
guys.
You'll get 8 hours of sleep sometime in that schedule, right? No,
No, ain't gonna happen. I was on ship.
no.
I was on ship for a couple of years, and no, it never happens the way you want it to.
You
We will be back.
Ships like the Imperium, you get 4 hours of rest, and the rest of the time you're working.
That's typically how shipboard life is. I hate to
Yeah.
say it.
You get 2 4 hour breaks. They're not continuous. And remember, you gotta do everything else in those 4 hours too. Remember, you got work to do, bitch. Get going.
It's terrible. For you Navy kids out there right now, I wish you luck. You guys have had no idea what it's like to live without sleep, but you're gonna find out. Pretty certain.
Yep.
Welcome back, Six Nations. We are going to shut this down and say thank you to everybody who was part of this tonight. We'll be doing member streams starting up in January, probably Wednesday nights after the Gatekeepers. I don't want to step on their dicks. Unless something in my life changes, which is a very big possibility. There's always that possibility where, like, Bruce, your job shut down. Fuck, why does it feel like I'm in Illinois? Anyway, we don't need to go into that, but for the foreseeable future, we'll be doing member streams after 8:45, after 9:30 on Monday nights or Wednesday nights, and so they'll be kind of short. But the more time I get, the more I get to the memberships. I apologize. I know there's some people like, we got to do more member stuff. I get it. I should, but I want my hands to be full with the game that I'm running. The alpha testers I have to actually write that, finish that, and feel like I've completed something in my life, because I haven't written anything since 2012, and I need to bump up those numbers. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.